Hello everyone, welcome back to the White Collar Engineer. And today, in order to share her IIM Lucknow's interview experience, we have Urvashi with us. Hi Urvashi, welcome to the White Collar Engineer.
Hi Saleh, thank you for having me today. You're doing great work and I hope your channel continues to grow and help aspirants out there.
Thank you so much Urvashi for the kind words. Urvashi, please introduce yourself in front of our audience.
Sure. So my name is Urvashi Dayal. I am currently pursuing my MBA from IIM Lucknow. I was born and brought up in Delhi. I have completed my graduation in BCom Honours from University of Delhi in 2022. And post which I worked in EY for around 2 years as an audit assistant where I used to conduct audit of US-based clients. And now I'm here today. I'm really excited to share my interview experience with all of you.
Great. So Urvashi, tell us about your CAT journey. Like, when did you begin your CAT preparation? Like, what was your percentile and what were the calls you had?
So I began my cash journey after joining EY. So like after completing my graduation, I decided actually decided in the third year itself, but I was not that serious at that point of time. So I started my serious preparation after graduating. So I joined EY. At that point of time, I was struggling in managing my job with the prep work because it was in audit you have those hectic work and it was difficult at that point of time. I was not able to manage and was not able to crack CAT at that point of time. So after in the next year in 2023 June, it was the time when I was like before that I was like, should I go for government job or should I appear for the CAT? It was a constant confusion in me, but then in June I finally decided I have to sit for CAT. And along with that, I was giving government exams as well to get hang on to that exam environment. And so that point of time, I decided that this time I have to be serious no matter what. As you know, in audit, we generally have usually hectic days. We have to work more than 11 hours a day. And during busy season of audit, that's when my CAT and interviews happen. So I used to doubt at that point of time whether I will be able to manage my job with prep or not. So, but I believe in myself and my family constantly motivated me at that point. And so the most important thing that helped me was planning. So before going to work, I used to plan my day, that what all topics do I have to cover in that in a day. And even if I'm getting small breaks, I used to squeeze enough time and do revision and give short section tests at that during those breaks. And after logging out, I used to make sure that I just sit for my preparation, give and devote my time, complete my to-do list for a day, and that's how I did. And I feel the most important thing apart from planning was consistency.
Exactly.
Consistency is something that makes an average person an intelligent person, I will say. And even if I was tired someday, I was logging out at 11 p.m. I used to make sure that I at least sit for an hour and complete at least half of my to-do list. So that's really matter a lot, and it makes a big difference.
True. So that's a very structured and good strategy for the working professionals who are preparing for CAT. Urvashi, I must appreciate you for that. And one more question which I was thinking to ask you is, like, you mentioned that you were also preparing for government exams, might be state PSC or SSC and stuff. So what made you choose CAT and managerial line over them?
So I actually chose commerce line after 10th standard, and we have a subject called business studies at that time, and there were chapters in that book, planning, organizing, and everything, if people remember. So, and I really found that those managing the things really exciting, and I followed that strategy even during my 12th board exams as well. And I used to participate in a lot of debate competitions and competitions during my graduation. So I feel like I am made for something like in a management field. I want to go in that. So I finally decided that I have to, and I already have given CAT before. So just make sure that this time I crack CAT.
Fantastic, Urvashi. So from that angle, from that background, your task sheets, planning sheets, or to-do list and everything just paid off. All right, Urvashi. So let's move into the next part of it. I mean, like, what all calls you had at your time, and talk about IIM Lucknow's admission process basically.
So I have called from all the IIMs except the ABC. My best call was IIM Lucknow. I had appeared for IIT's interviews as well. I appeared for IIT Delhi, IIT Roorkee, IIT Kanpur as well. But I was not eligible for IIT Kharagpur and IIT Bombay because they have the criteria of having minimum 4 years of graduation years. Who was not eligible for those. But apart from that, I given all the interviews. And if I talk about IIM Lucknow, so my interview happened on the 19th of March in 2022.
So was there any GD or VAT before the interview, or it was a direct interview?
No, we have what and interview process, not no GD at all. Our what topic was business strategy to tackle poverty, if I clearly remember. Yeah. And my PI was around for 10 minutes. It was not that too long. It was a short PI.
Right. And how do you go about approaching your VAT? What all strategies did you follow?
So I used to practice what every alternate days when I was preparing for my interview. So one thing that I would say for what is that if these kind of general topic, poverty, education related, these are the general topic, and one should prepare for such topics, and along with you should have some bunch of fact around it.
Right.
Like if I talk about poverty, I had inserted facts related to that Adani is doing that and this is happening there, and that really helps person, and you usually don't have content to frame. But if you have these facts, you can frame around it, and it shows that you have knowledge what is happening around you as well. So yeah, practicing really helped me.
And let's talk about the PI then. As you mentioned, it was a short and simple PI. So what all questions were asked to you in that?
So if I talk about my PI, so the panel had one female and one male professor. Both were above 60s. And ma'am started with the classic, tell me about yourself. So I prepared my introduction well, briefly and structured. I covered academics, work at EY and why MBA. So next she asked, why do you want to pursue MBA? While I have my document folder with me. The sir took my folder and he was calmly checking my certificate folder at that point of time when ma'am was asking questions. So then sir interrupted and asked me if I am sure about doing an MBA, given that I had a good job at EY. So I explained that I wanted to go beyond accounting and finance and learn from the best mind in the country. So ma'am referred to my SOP form. She was checking my SOP form at that time, and where I had mentioned about a leadership role.
Okay.
She asked me what qualities does a leader have. So I mentioned about responsibility, vision, adaptability, and all. Then came the technical part. Sir asked me about my work, and in the meanwhile, ma'am interrupted and said that tell me about the projects that you did in your job.
Okay.
Then sir was saying that in order to, he was speaking in Hindi as well. So he was saying that ये audit में करती है, इसमें कोई project नहीं होता. तो मैम कहते हैं कि कोई बात नहीं, जो करते वो बता दो. तो फिर I talked about my client and audit experience. So then sir asked me that have I ever found a misstatement during audit? If I could give an example. So I just gave an example that I faced, and then sir asked me that if I had ever experienced that my senior found something that I did. So I honestly said that yes sir, it happened with me since they have more experience and knowledge than me. Then sir asked me how many interviews have you given till now? I said it around 11. He then said what is the recent interview that you have given?
Okay.
I told him about my IIT Delhi interview, and he told me it's a great college. I myself have graduated from the IIT Delhi. You should join that. I was about to talk about IIM Lucknow, that what I have researched about IIM Lucknow. I was about to say that, but I didn't get any chance at that moment to talk about IIM Lucknow. Then he just moved on to the next question, which was linked to my what topic.
Okay.
And he asked me about business strategy. As I told you that what topic was business strategy to tackle poverty. So he asked me about business strategy. He wanted to know what is the difference between business strategy and financial strategy. So I answered that. And then he asked me that could you give any example what type of strategies exist So I answered with an example of financial, operational, or technical strategy. And then ma'am said, your interview is over now.
Okay.
Thank you. And then they gave me a toffee and some almonds.
And Urvashi, you attended 10 plus interviews, 11 interviews, before IIM Lucknow, I guess, right? So, like,
Yes.
how was IIM Lucknow's interview different? Like, as I believe that was the only BLACKI call you had, or you had, I guess, calls from Kozhikode and Indore as well, no? So, like,
Yes, yes.
how are the BLACKI interviews different from the other institutions' interviews, like, as per your experience?
So IIM Lucknow interview was short. If I talk about as compared to Kozhikode, which was around 40 minutes, and my Indore interview was also went for around 20 minutes, and this interview was just 10 minutes, and both the professor made the environment so calm that I didn't feel like I'm in a pressure situation, and they make that environment welcoming for me.
Fantastic. And even I should mention that, like, even in 10 minutes, they touched upon everything, like your work experience, your YMBA, tell me about yourself, your other calls and everything. So it was a good one.
Yes, it was like a conversation,
Right.
and both the professor I am telling you, like they both were so welcoming that they didn't made me feel that I should be in a safe situation. I really felt comfortable at that time.
Fantastic. Urvashi, you also mentioned about SOP. So was that a part of your application form, or like you had to fill it previously?
So when we receive call from IIM Lucknow, so we have to fill a form called SOP. So wherein we have to answer some of the question. There one question was, why do you want to pursue MBA? What are your short-term and long-term goal? And there I mentioned about leadership.
Right.
So one should know in and out of that form very clearly. If someone is preparing, then frame some question around whatever you have written in that form, and so that you are comfortable in answering any question that come up to you during the interview around that form.
Fantastic. And what is an ideal SOP? Like, how does an ideal SOP look like?
SOP should be authentic. You should be yours. That you should be very much. You should have a clarity of thought and direction. That everyone wants to do MBA in today's world, but what's your reason? And most of the people do MBA for money, as everyone knows. But you don't have to mention that explicitly. You have to mention your own reason, that why do you want to do? Because professors have lot of experience. They are teaching. They are taking interview from many years. So they can easily call that whether you have written is something generic or if you have done chat GPT and all,
Correct.
or you are authentic. So make sure that you mention everything, or be honest in that form. Write everything that you feel. Because what I did was, like, I didn't did any chat GPT or no. I did my research. I found out some of the things from IIM Lucknow site that I find exciting. I mentioned about that. I mentioned about my long-term vision. Because generally professor looked at whether you have that vision or not. Are you thinking about your future goal or not at this point of time? Whether you're not clear, even if you're not clear, at least mention that whatever you have thought of about yourself. I want to be CEO. I want to say. Just mention about that, because professor really found that interesting. As I mentioned, I talked about leadership position. So I mentioned about some leadership position that I want to be, and professor really find it interesting. He asked me question about it as well in the interview.
Great. Awesome. All right, Urvashi. So before wrapping up the video, any particular tips which you would like to give to the aspirants or the future interview call getters?
So first thing is believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then things won't work out for you. Second thing is being consistent while preparing. Even if you have very less number of hours, just make sure that you are devoting some time at least to your preparation, because consistency plays a very big role. And then comes if I talk about the interview preparation, just prepare your graduation subject very well. You should be very well versed with two main subjects of your graduation. I won't say that just prepare those two main subjects, prepare other subjects as well, but be very much thorough and go little bit deep into those main subjects that actually demonstrate your graduation course. And then comes stay updated with the current affairs. It's very important that you have your own point of view around what is going around, and then you should be able to link you that how that thing can impact our economy and us as well. If I talk about even if repo rate is increasing, how it can impact interest rate, how it can impact our economy. So you should be very much clear about that cycle, and then most importantly, prepare your basic HR questions. The classic, tell me about yourself, and then why do you want to do MBA, and what's your strengths and weaknesses. If you have ever demonstrated leadership quality in your life, then you should be very much clear how you will display that with an impact. And then know about your college, your organization if you are working. So about histories, background, and if you have like for example, I receive a scholarship.
Okay.
So the scholarship was on the name of some person. I was not aware about that person, but in my IIM Indore interview, professor asked me about that.
Okay.
That do you know about this person? So you should be very much clear about whatever you are writing in your form.
Right.
And then if I talk about interview, just be confident. In my IIM Lucknow interview and other interviews, I almost cracked most of the interviews. Just one interview that I didn't crack was IIM Lucknow Finance interview. Apart from that, I cracked all the interviews. And one thing that really helped me was being confident. Even if you don't know the answer to any question, just don't bluff in front of professor.
Exactly.
Be very much confident. You can say that, sorry sir, I'm not able to recall at this moment, but I will definitely check out after my interview.
Correct.
And yeah, sorry sir, I'm not aware about this thing. I will definitely explore it after my interview. And then have clarity on YMB. That's a very important question. The professor generally asks this question, and you should have your own reason of why do you want to do, as I mentioned earlier. And then third thing come that you should know your SOP, your form in and out. Just explore some of the words that you have written in those in that form, and frame some of the questions around it so that you can answer them in the interviews they come up. And then authenticity is the key. Be authentic in front of professor. Be honest whatever you are saying in front of them. And the last thing is that maintain the composure and be calm. I understand that during that situation you can be nervous, but be calm and just see this interview as a conversation and enjoy this process as well, because you will always remember this for your life. The experience you're having, you're going for interview in a 5-star hotel, and this experience really helped you. And yes, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Urvashi. That was such a detailed, insight to the entire interview process. And I must say, your insights truly reflect that you have entirely, got a hold of this entire process. And I'm quite sure that this will help a lot of interview colleagues who are watching this video. So thank you so much, Urvashi, again for coming to the White Collar Engineer, sharing your insights, your interview experience, and such valuable tips for the juniors. Wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Saleh, for once again for inviting me on your channel. I hope this video will help all the upcoming students who will be appearing for the IIM Lucknow interview and for other interviews as well.